Okay, so I know some people were commenting how I tied my peeps in. So I'm gonna show you how to do it because I was actually going through a retune, adjusting my knock height a little different to better my hold on target. So I'm gonna show you how to tie the peep in because I had to undo the tie, and I'd end up moving it up about an 1/8 inch. So I'm gonna show you how I tie it in. So kind of bear with me a little bit here. Try to keep things as focused as I can. So basically, you want to cut two pieces about, I don't know, 15 inches long, a foot long, something like that. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to start here. What you're going to start with is you're going to cross over, and you're going to do that twice. Once, twice. Okay, so then try to keep your tails pretty even because you're going to need an equal amount on both sides, obviously. So I'll get that situated down. So your top will kind of look like that. It's kind of hard to see it there, but then you're going to roll this underneath. Just makes the top one a little easier. Kind of get your tails even as you can. Makes life a little easier in the end. Okay, you get that there. And you want to cinch that down good and tight because that's your initial hold right here. Okay. Then you take your other one. Then you're going to do the same thing. Under one, under two. Then you bring that right up underneath there. Keeping your tails even as you can. It's a little finicky until you get her set there. Get your tails fairly even. You just got to pull one side, let it roll through. Then you cinch that down good and tight. Both sides. So here's kind of where the spot where you kind of got to watch. Okay, so you got your top string and your bottom string. So they're going to crisscross. So your top is going to go to your bottom, and your bottom is going to go to your top. Okay. So the other thing to keep track of is when you tie these, they're just half hitches. When you tie them, your half hitch will gradually start to rotate around this part of the string. Okay? So if you come from the top like this, your knots will start rotating in toward the peep. So pay attention to that. So you want to come underneath. So on the bottom side of the peep toward the loop, you want to come underneath, then back through. Then when you go to cinch this down, kind of hold the peep so it don't slide. So obviously make sure where that dot was. So my dot is right underneath my strings here, my serving. Then you want to pull that in and tighten it down. So what I like to do is I like to do like 3 of them all the way around to kind of lock it in before I finish them. You want to pull it good and snug. Okay, then I'll go to the top. So the top, you come in from the top. So that's another way to remind it too. Bottom side of the peep, come in from the bottom. Top side, come in from the top. And you'll see as we do this how it'll start to kind of rotate around. Okay, cinch it in good. You want to make sure these knots are good and tight too. Okay, so I got this side pretty locked in. The hop side's over here. Be kind of hard to see it on this side, but I'll lock it in quick, then I can finish that side. Well, a lot of people kind of think, well, it's kind of a waste of time or whatever, but my opinion, it locks it in really good. Some people say, well, you can still move it. Well, it's because your half hitches are not tight. That's just plain and simple. Literally what that comes down to be. So remember, top side, come in from the top. Making sure they're good. So that's number 2. And number 3. Okay, so now I got her locked in there pretty good. Obviously make sure your peep is square and all that good stuff. Pull your threads good, make sure they're tight. Okay, so now I'll finish these sides, then you'll be able to see how I'm talking about why you want to come in from the bottom and come in from the top. How the threads will rotate away. Okay, so that's 3. And I usually do about 8. So this is 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. And I'll do my top, keep these other strings out of the way. So we're at 3. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. So as you can kind of see there, let me zoom in a little bit. Hope you can kind of see it. Kind of blurry. There you go. So as you can see, where that thread here starts to kind of curl down, and your top here kind of starts to curl up. So if you have a shorter peep, this is a Raptor peep by Hamskia, but if you have a shorter peep, like a Rad peep or a G5 Meta peep, where they're a little shorter, obviously if you do a fair amount of these, some people like to do 10 or 12 or whatever. So like on here, I could get away with more. But if you start, so if you have these, if you're coming in from the top on the bottom side here, if you're coming in from the top, these knots will start to rotate in. And if you have a shorter peep, that could eventually distract your vision through your peep. So it's something to pay attention to. But that's generally how I do mine. As far as number of ties, vice versa. You can do more, you can do less. But the biggest thing is making sure you get these half hitches tight. And so then, if you can kind of see there, where they cinch together nice and clean, you know, just it's a really good clean look, but most importantly, it locks it in really good. So I'll just jump to this other side here quick. Then I'll run this one out. Again, I started at 3. That's 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. As you kind of tighten them going back and forth, they'll settle in where they want to be and all that good stuff. So on the top, come in from the top. We're at 3, 4, 5. When you're tightening them too, as you kind of notice how I'm doing like kind of a swirl, it helps the knot kind of work its way around and settle in nice. So I think I was at 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. 6. 7. And what I was saying before about make sure you have enough of this, because otherwise if these strings get too short toward the end, it's really hard to get your finger around them to get a good grip on them and get them tight. So it's okay to have plenty extra. So then same thing with that side. Hope you can kind of see that, how that rolls in there really nice. So now you go ahead and burn your ends. The first I'll do is I'll just come here, give it a good twist, make sure they're good and tight. Then I'll generally come in and I'll cut them about 1/8 long. You don't need much. Okay, obviously you're going to be burning relatively close to the string, so you don't want to be super close. Then do the other side. Then I'll burn that side in. And don't be too worried about working on your own stuff, guys. Like, doing this stuff is not hard. You know, it's just all trial and error. You know, that's how most of us bow tech kind of give people learn how to do this stuff. So all said and done, we'll zoom back out a little bit here. Clear it back out. Try to focus it again. Come on. See if it'll focus. Okay, anyway. But so that's what you're going to end up looking like. Not sure why it won't focus, but crying out loud. Well, I don't know what will focus. Anyway, so that's just going to end up looking like both sides. Sorry the camera wouldn't focus. I don't know what its deal is, but yeah, check it out. And obviously, as you can see in the background there, this Bergie Bowsmith sticker. Jesse Briginthes over in Rochester, Minnesota. Super awesome guy. He kind of showed me this a little bit. He's been doing it. I caught onto it with Bomar. And I've been doing it ever since, and it works really awesome. It's how I tie all my peeps for all the guys I do stuff for. So hope that kind of helps you guys out a little bit. I know some guys are kind of asking how they could do it, and it just kind of worked out because I wanted to retune this, so it was a good opportunity to do it. I was going to do one last night when I put a new string on the lady's bow, but there's a lot of rackets going on, so it wasn't an ideal time to do a video. But yeah, hopefully it helps you guys out, and hopefully I kind of walked through it good enough to understand it. So yeah,